You're listening to episode 17 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast, Top 5 with Diamond. Hey, Disc friends. Welcome to episode 17 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast. I am your host, June. The Lion King is released in theaters this past weekend. And woo Chile. I don't even know where to start. I actually just finished doing a live on the Afros and Pixie Dust Instagram page with Adriana, aka at Bippity Boppity Broke, and I thought we were all on the same page, but I guess we weren't, because I was not feeling the movie as much as everybody else was. And so I think I shook the table a little too hard with my review of the movie. I did not think it was a 10 by any means. I don't think it was a 0. I actually gave it an 8 to 8.5. And for me, I think that the nostalgia was what got people in the seats, which is a testament to how great the animated version actually was. And I think that the CGI was incredible. I think it was almost akin to watching a Disney nature film, and hats off to the team for making it that amazing and realistic and lifelike. But that's kind of where it ended for me for the most part. The voiceovers for me were a little off, especially in the beginning of the movie. I just felt very disjointed. The dialogue and the movement of the characters just didn't seem to flow for me. And so it kind of got me a little distracted to the story. I particularly enjoyed Donald Glover's work for the voiceover. I may be the minority here, but I'm going to stand on that. And that's how I felt. I think that he did a pretty good job ad-libbing and embodying Simba and how unsure he was of himself. So I think that Donald Glover did a good job in that sense. And Timon and Pumbaa, which I feel like is a general consensus, pretty much stole the show. They did amazing jobs with their characters. And I think that the chemistry between Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba was really great to see on film. One of my favorite scenes from the movie was the stampede scene. I thought that was very well done. And actually, after the stampede scene and moving forward, I really did start to get into the movie. I really loved what they did with Simba in the jungle. Kind of after the jungle, it lost me again. So for me, like I said, it's about an 8, 8.5 out of 10. I suggest you all go watch it anyway, despite my thoughts, because apparently I'm the minority in the Disblurred community. So go see it. Feel free to message me over on Instagram at Afros and Pixie Dust and let me know what you thought. I'm interested to hear varying opinions on this film. So go see it. I will say the best thing that came from this movie was The Gift, which is the album that Beyonce put together that was inspired by the movie. It is a definite playthrough beginning to end. I think she did a great job of curating various voices from Africa. The beats, the Afro beats were dope. And I think that you all should go listen. And also let me know what you think. I also wrote a little blog post on afrosandpixiedust.com where I ranked the live action Lion King amongst other media and my top 5 best Lion King performances. So go check that out and leave a comment if you agree or if you disagree with my rankings of these shows. Before we get to this week's guest, I have to also talk about San Diego Comic-Con. This weekend was incredible. The big announcement of the Marvel panel was we getting a Blade movie, y'all. I could not breathe probably for the next 30 minutes after reading that announcement. All of my early adult dreams have come true. I am so excited to see what this remake will be all about. I am here for all of it. And I think Mahershala Ali was an excellent choice for casting of Blade. And I think that he's going to do a great job. I'm super excited, and I will be there in black on black on black. I am with it. Other notable announcements from the Marvel panel included Valkyrie, who will be in the next Thor movie as King of Asgard, and she will be looking for her queen. And so that is going to be the official first LGBTQ character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'm really excited to see Valkyrie in Thor. And that's all I'm going to say about that. If you guys can read between the lines. And I'm also excited about the casting of Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau in WandaVision, which is a series that will be coming to Disney+. So there is a lot of diversity that is being infused in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm so excited about it. I'm here for it. My butt will be in a seat watching these performances, and I will be cheering them on every step of the way. So let's now get to this week's guest. This week's guest is Diamond. She is a California native who is currently living in Dallas, Texas. She grew up a Disneyland girl and even worked at theme parks before her current job in radio. She is the producer and host of Diamond Hearts Theme Parks, which is a weekly podcast and show on iHeart Radio, Talk 1190 in Dallas, Texas. She is also the owner of RideSoother.com, which is a website that helps people face their roller coaster fears. I was introduced to Diamond via Nikki J, aka at Theme Park Hipster, and I was so happy to have met another Black Disney podcaster. I love listening to her show. She has a really great point of view. And she also does this thing where she gives her top 5 tips and rankings on her show. And I thought it would be fun for her to do one on here. And without further ado, let's get into my conversation with Diamond. Hi, Diamond. Welcome to the show.
Hi, the queen of Disney bounding. It's an honor, Your Grace, and a privilege.
Why, thank you.
You are amazing. I love all of your stuff and all of your pictures. It's such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Every time someone says that to me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, because I don't feel like I'm even trying hard enough. So any compliment, I just appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds crazy. Yeah, it's incredible. No problem.
Thank you. So let's start off the interview with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I actually grew up in Lancaster, California, and my mom, she took me to Disneyland every year since I was, I want to say one, that I still have, and I think I fell in love with it so much is because I remember little moments that happened in the parks. And then when I go back and look at the photo albums, I was like 2 or 3, and I can't believe as an infant, I still have those memories. So yeah, I didn't realize how much I loved theme parks and like Disneyland so much until I got way older. I just knew I liked to go, and I noticed that I think we've all kind of gone through that point in our lives where you just don't know where you want to go or what you want to do. And I read all these books and filled out all of those those charts where you have to list all the stuff that interests you. And I realized I was kind of like leaning towards of course I realized how much I like theme parks and Disney was a big part of my life, but there's also a part of fear that was kind of I was like focusing on, and I realized how good it made me feel when I would go to the parks with people I loved and talk them into experiencing something new, Space Mountain or anything that's like thrilling. And I felt like I kind of had like a weird little talent for just kind of putting people into perspective and letting people know how your brain's working and what you're going to feel and what you're going to see. And just the joy I felt when people would face their fear and then get off and then enjoy it. And now they have that memory. It just always made me feel really good. And I worked at a theme park too. And when the little kids were afraid to get on, and I would like lean down and talk them into getting on, and then they come off, and then they're just so happy, made me feel happy. So I just felt like, I know this is kind of weird, but I think this is what I want to do. See if I can do this as much as I can. It brings me joy, and things just kind of evolved from there. So yeah, that's me, and that's my love for Disney and everything. I just want everyone to experience how great it actually is when you go and experience it when you're in it.
So you're like a motivational speaker for theme parks. That's amazing. That's great because there's a lot of people that will go and they will sit on a bench. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, just to sit and enjoy watching other people enjoy themselves. But there's something to say about actually facing your fears and just trying something, even if you would never do it again, but just trying it once. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, I know some things just, some people just are afraid of something. If you're afraid, you're afraid. But that I used to be terrified of getting on like attractions and stuff like that. Like I remember Indiana Jones when I was like maybe 5 or 6 the first time I rode. I was like covering my eyes and I was screaming Jesus the entire time, like Jesus, because I just thought I was like surrounded by evil.
yes.
That's how afraid I was. But it's that feeling of going with your friends, especially when you're in your teens and you have to sit out, and then you kind of feel kind of lonely. You can't eat because everyone wants to eat, or you're in line and everyone's laughing and you're just feeling dread. I know that feeling. Never heard the term like motivational speaker for theme parks, but yeah, I mean, I hope that's what people get when they listen, and I break down these rides and stuff, that they just feel a little more motivated to try something new.
Yeah. I mean, that's great and everything, but definitely I feel for theme parks, it's worth it because there's so much joy that you can have just being in that kind of atmosphere that why not try everything at least once?
At least one time. And if you love the Disney movies and everything, the way that Disney makes these attractions so immersive and incredible, it's just, I feel like you can't get that anywhere else.
Oh, definitely. So, what is your favorite Disney movie?
My favorite, well, I'm gonna put Lion King off to the side because that's clearly the best one, and I'll say Monsters Inc. is my favorite. It's all around a great movie, and I don't know that I just feel like there's a lot of adult humor that I didn't catch when I was younger, and then when I watch again, it just makes me laugh, and I love like movies like that, even though it doesn't have the Disney songs and all that. I just love it, and I wish they would do an attraction, like a really big attraction. There's so much there for it. So, but yeah, that's my favorite, Monsters Inc.
Yeah, so have you heard the rumors of the Monsters at Work show?
No.
So Disney Plus is supposed to be getting a series, Monsters at Work. And
Oh,
yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
yeah, and is it gonna have the like OGs, like,
I'm not sure.
Spike and
I've only seen like an extra in like the promos. So I haven't seen any like actual like clips from the show. I've just seen kind of like posters. So I'm trying to like dig for information, but all I know is that the show is supposed to be coming.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. There's so much that they can do with it. So, yeah, love it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. Which would be your favorite character from that movie?
Boo, of course.
Oh,
Just she's adorable. She makes me smile every time she's on screen, and yeah, love her.
yeah. Is there a particular character just in general that you feel you identify with?
Um, you know what? I feel like maybe Mike and Sully a little bit, just with the optimism and the like incredible overthinking, and maybe that's why I like it so much because it goes through all of my emotions when they were making decisions. There's one part of me that's like, yeah, let's do it. The world's my oyster. And then there's also like Mike there that like wants to go over everything that can go wrong. I love that like dynamic. So I don't know if I connect with one in particular, but I do think the whole movie in itself relates to me because of that reason.
Yeah, Pixar movies just have a way of getting in your feelings. Like you really
Yeah,
you become introspective and like, wow, they nailed that. So that's
right.
amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Also, you said Pixar. Did you want me to do like a classic
Yeah,
Disney
any like
vault?
any movie at
Okay, cool.
all. Yeah,
Okay.
any character, any movie. If Monsters Inc. is your movie,
Okay,
more power
Monsters
to
Inc.
you. That's
Okay,
actually a
cool.
first. No, that's
Really?
actually a first here because we get a lot of the classics. We get a lot of like Tiana. We've gotten Snow White. We've even gotten Jiminy Cricket. So
Oh,
yeah, I think that's the first Pixar character. So that's cool.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, nice to switch it up a little bit. My
Yes.
my first thought was actually Tiana at first, but I was like, is that my favorite overall like Disney umbrella movie? And I was like, it's actually Monsters Inc. Let me just be honest.
Yeah. Yes. No. Look, we all find something that connects to us in different ways for different
Mhm.
reasons. So, you mean, it would be amazing if Tiana connected to everyone globally, but I mean,
Oh
Mike and
yes,
Sully are really pretty cool too. So,
yeah. Oh, and I love Tiana's my girl. I love her
oh
too.
yeah,
So
yeah. She, I feel like, I mean, she's pretty well seen, um, in the parks and whatnot, but I mean, our hope is that she gets a deserving sequel. I mean, some people are anti-sequels and some people are pro-sequels, but we need a sequel where she is Tiana the whole movie. She doesn't turn into an
yes,
animal and
exactly.
she's just living her best life. So,
For sure. And how do you feel about, I wish that they let Princess and the Frog came out at a time where like computer generated movies were already happening. And so for Tiana to be like a 2D, I felt like it was a little late for it. So I I kind of go back and forth. I wonder if they did a sequel. I want to see her maybe in the new technology, like computer animated Princess and the Frog. I feel like they can do more with it. What do you think? Or would you like to keep it the classic 2D style?
oh no, they can update it. Like I understood they wanted to like I think it was the 50th or close to the 50th and like 50th movie or something of that effect. So they wanted to make it a classic. They wanted to do it old school, but I want to see some texture. Like give me all of that. Like let me
Yes.
see it. Yes. No, I'm here for it. Give me all I mean, the Frozen 2 promos, my jaw's on the floor with how amazing that animation is. Let me see Tiana like all glowing and glistening in this new format. I would love it.
Right.
I would love it.
Can you picture New Orleans and like how they'll make the beignets look now with that? Just
Yeah, 'cause-
so much. They get the fireflies. Come on.
yeah,
It's right there. It's
yeah,
right there in your hands.
yeah, and even like Mama Odie's place. Yeah, it would be amazing. And the
Mhm.
swamp, they could do such great things with that.
Right. Yeah.
We ready? We ready, Disney?
Bring it.
uh, so, what are some ways that you like to express your Disney fandom?
Well, through the show, of course, because I'm I don't know, like very I love game. I think you can probably tell if you listen to my show. I like games and competitions and battles and stuff like that. So that's my release. Since I'm here in Dallas, I can't go like all the time and visit every weekend like I wish I could. So that's my release and, my way to show my love for the parks. And then just being on social media with all of you guys, just quick side note, when I first heard you, June, on another podcast for the first time, and you and Nikki from Theme Park Hipster, you guys talked about, the community and how you're all here. You gave hashtags on how to find everyone, and I legitimately felt like you guys opened like a door to a tunnel that I didn't know was there. And it was the best feeling to go and be like, oh my gosh, this is where my people are. I thought it was just like me and like one other person, and then just going in there and seeing so many other women of color, men of color that are Disney fans and theme park fans. It was just the best feeling ever. So now when I'm on social media, it's just like a whole different page for me. My feed is just all of these women that look like me and just enjoying the parks, and I can live through you guys since I'm here in Dallas. So that's my way also of just being involved. It's just watching what you guys are doing and joining in and conversing with you guys.
I'm so grateful for Nikki for pushing me to do the interview with her because I didn't realize how important that was until like I actually like listened to it and like, got feedback. Like, I mean, I so obviously this podcast, this whole movement is to unite us, for us to find each other because there's so many of us out there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we know each other. You're in Dallas, I'm in New York. I mean, there's people all over the country, all over the world, I'm finding that have the same common, fandom, and they may be the only person in their area that kind of feels that way. And
Yes.
so it's amazing that we can connect, and I'm so grateful for social media to be able for us to be able to do that, to connect and like actually have someone that looks like you, that has maybe similar experiences as you, and you don't feel as isolated. And
You
so,
don't, yeah, because even your own social group, I feel like in other groups outside, just they probably know other people that are big Disney fans and stuff, but in your own social group, sometimes it's just you. So it just feels so small, and then you go to the parks and we're there, but usually we might not see each other because there's not as big of a presence. So it was just amazing, June, that episode. It did so much for so many people, including myself.
oh, I'm so excited about that. Yeah, now when I half the time when I'm on Instagram or just looking through the feeds, I have to like pause because I get choked up because it's amazing, even just over the span of a year, how many people I've found. And I'm like, wow, we are out here. Like, I'm
Yeah.
finding these people, and everyone's connecting with each other, and they're developing relationships, and it's blossoming, and it's just so beautiful. I just love
Yes.
it. I
And
love it.
everyone's so supportive and just
Yes.
I love it. It's
Yes.
wonderful. Just rain it down.
Yes. And I can't wait for it to like grow even more because I know it will.
It will.
So
Yeah.
excited for
Yeah.
it. So you're in Dallas. How often do you get to go to the parks?
So I get to go maybe 2 times a year. Maybe on a good year, maybe 3 times because I'm lucky. I'm from California, so when I go see my mom and my grandparents, I'll squeeze in a trip. Even if it's on a weekend, I'll go for a couple of hours. And then as far as Orlando, that takes a little more planning since I don't really have family over there. And so yeah, just with everything going on, usually I'd say consistently, maybe twice a year. And so it's really special when I get to go over there because I haven't been there in so long. But then there's also so many things that I see everyone else doing, and it's like, oh, I wish I could be there for that. So, but that's cool. You're in New York too, so I think I'm guessing you can relate to the feeling a little bit. Or are you in Orlando now?
Oh no, I'm in New York and the
Yeah,
FOMO is real. It's bad. It's bad.
yeah,
Last year I got an annual pass and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it out my system. I'm gonna try to go as often as possible. I was like, hitching rides with people. I was it was so much fun though. I did a couple of like group trips. I did my annual family trip, and then I did Disney California Adventure for like one day when I went to go visit my one of my best friends out there. And it was great. It was a great year, and I wish I could do it more, but you know, I gotta be realistic.
Yeah, it's rough out here, those plane tickets and stuff like that. But you know, well, even I feel like we're gonna get to a place where we'll be going all the time. That's where I want to get to the end of the day. I want to be a DVC member so bad because I just want to when I have kids, I want to be able to take them at least once a year and stay at a different Disney resort and do all that stuff. I haven't stayed at any of the deluxe ones yet, so there's just so much that I'm itching to do that I know will come eventually.
I know, and it's such goals, but then you're like, wait, Disney, they be bugging with their prices. So I want to do it, but I'm not gonna go broke over this. So
Yeah.
you really have to be strategic. Like,
No, you do. Even the DVC membership is that's where I'm trying to like get
yes.
there because
So
it's high.
yeah, you gotta there's like resales that you can do that are like cheaper. Like I've been trying to do my research. So there's some ways that you can kind of get in for a little bit less. Um, and then you can kind of like add and build your DVC membership. But yeah, it's still money. It's still quite a bit of money.
No,
And
it is. And it takes some time. Even the resale ones, it's a little hard because it just takes like you have to be ready to go a
Mhm.
year in advance just to
Yeah,
get like the rate that you want. And
yeah,
so, yeah, usually by that point, I'm like looking at options and it's too late for me, but I'll get it together.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Someday, I'm
Yeah.
gonna plan the perfect like DVC trip one day.
Yes, or like a big group trip or so. I feel like at this point now there can be like some type of like Black Girl Disney people of color, some type of something trip that can be planned. We'll get in there. 10 people in one of the DVC villas, make it happen.
Oh yeah, I got the Birdman hand rub right here. You can't see, but yes, I'm trying to plot something because I want to have like a huge like almost like Greek fest
Yes. Yes, do
out
we
in
should
Disney.
please let me know as soon.
We're gonna
You
have a
already have a
cookout.
member. Yes.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that would be so much fun. So much fun. And
Yeah.
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there soon,
Hmm.
hopefully.
Yeah.
So you've been to both parks in the US.
Hmm.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh yes, Epcot,
Mm,
100%. It's I feel like you know, but it has a little bit of everything that I love about the Disney parks all in one place. The amazing food, the crazy good drinks, and then I do love how authentic they are trying to keep the World Showcase in the like with the circumstances that they have with have like importing their beers and wines and importing food and candy and just all the shopping and all that. And I hope with all of the changes that are coming to Epcot that if anything that World Showcase they try to keep that way with just in bringing things in because if you can't afford to travel across the country and I know a lot of people like to turn their nose up when you're like, oh yeah, Epcot. It's like, why don't you actually go to the country? If you can't, you can go and get a little taste of it. And I feel like that also helps you decide where you want to travel later. We just need we need to upgrade this African outpost and make it what it was originally supposed to be. But besides that, I love the World Showcase. And then they have attractions too, a little bit of thrills. They have some dark rides. It has it all. So I love it. And I'm actually kind of excited about some of the changes coming to Epcot too. I can't lie.
yeah, we got to say it louder for the people in the back about the African outpost. Come on, they got to come
Yeah.
a little bit better.
It's really just a walkthrough point at this
Yeah,
point. Yeah, like nobody really stops
you
for
can
it.
blink and miss it. Like,
You can, yeah. And the funny thing was it was supposed to be like this big grand like have you seen the original concept art for it? It was supposed to have like 3 countries and it was supposed to be multi-layered and just all the stuff and everything just fell apart. But I feel like at this point with everything happening, they can definitely bring that back. And I know we have Africa and Animal Kingdom now, but I still think the World Showcase is not going to feel like a World Showcase until you put something that represents Africa and put it at the level of all of the other pavilions in that
Right.
area. So,
Right. Because Africa is a continent.
yes,
And so we need to see a lot of all the different sides of Africa. So it's nice that they have the homage to Africa in Animal Kingdom, but Africa's more than animals. There's people. So
absolutely.
let's see the people of Africa. And yes, they have Morocco, but there's more than that in Africa. We got to see all the different sides
Yeah.
of it.
And
So
I think that's what they originally had. Forgive me, I can't remember the three like countries in Africa that they were gonna use, but I remember them being like a little different in each one. And so I just it just bugs me that it fell through so harshly, but yeah, it's been too long. So let's pick it
yeah.
up and bring it back.
And now that they hiked up the prices, like, come on, we can do this.
Oh yeah, it can happen. You have the
Hurry,
money for it. For sure.
exactly. Hurry up and finish your little Star Wars project and let's get back to what the people want.
Right. For sure.
Yes, I want to see Ghana. I want to see Egypt. I think Egypt deserves
I
mm,
yeah.
some love.
Hmm.
And then, like a southern, maybe South Africa or Zimbabwe, or I think it would be beautiful.
I'd love it. It would be
Definitely.
fantastic.
And they have to step up their shea butter game just a little bit.
Oh, I didn't even know they had shea butter in there. Do they?
Yeah, they sell like shea butter and like cocoa butter and stuff.
They're like, here's some of the things we know you like. Take it.
Right. I need the raw shea butter though. It was like too
Yeah.
fancy for me.
It was like very creamy.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Too many perfumes and stuff. No, give me the raw stuff. That's what I need.
Yeah.
To whip it up in my special elixirs for my hair and stuff.
Hmm. I feel like they're moving. I feel like I don't know. I just feel something in this energy. I feel like it's something's coming, and I don't know what that is, but I feel like we might be getting something like representation wise for us. So
I hope so.
I'm ready
I
for it.
I know on your show you talked about Wakanda,
Oh yeah, I'm a
and
broken record on it.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. Like, we need a Wakanda. I'm okay with putting in Africa and Animal Kingdom. Rafiki, I love you, but we gonna have to change that up. That'll be
Listen,
perfect.
right? I feel like I know, and then I was so my heart broke when they closed it down. Do you remember that they closed Rafiki's Planet Watch down for like a little bit for refurbishment, and I was like, yes, it is happening. Here we go, on deck, Wakanda. They're getting ready to announce it for the D23 Expo, and then they reopened it. I guess they like put some new stuff in there and like I don't know, updated it a little bit. So it kind of like broke my heart a little bit. Like maybe it's not, but I'm still holding out. I'm still holding out hope because I just feel like it's perfectly placed because you have Africa and then it's kind of off and hidden, and so I feel like it's the perfect place. And I was watching people on Twitter talking about how the magic bands can be those oh my gosh, what were they called, kimono beads, that they
Um,
used in the movie. What's the name of them, but the
yeah,
balls that they used, yeah,
yeah.
that they can use those for magic bands. Just so many great ideas. So I feel like it, and it's here I go going on my rant about this, but the top three movies, like best box office movies, are Star Wars, Avatar, and Black Panther domestically. So why? I feel like there's no reason why this shouldn't happen when we already have a Star Wars land coming now. We already have Pandora with Avatar. So what's the third biggest box office ever? Black Panther. Come on, it's like platter. It's there for you on a silver platter. And if they don't do it there, then put Wakanda in freaking Epcot. People are mad about all the changes anyways. Just give us that. I'll take that. Just give us something.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we'll see what they do with Marvel Land and Disneyland, but I feel like we need on both sides. And I know they have their contracts, the Universal contract. I don't know if Black Panther is a part of it, but
Mhm.
we got to figure something out.
We We have to. And I know that like Bob Iger did mention something. I don't know if he was just saying that to the shareholders when they asked about a Black Panther attraction, but he said something like, "Oh, it's in the works" or something like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've been like tweeting at Bob, just little reminders every couple of months just to
You know what?
if
Let
some
let
assistant sees it.
let's do that though, for real. We
Yeah,
can we can say let where's Wakanda or
exactly.
something.
Just
We could do a hashtag or something. The people, when the people speak, Disney listens because
right.
they fixed Tiana's nose. They sure did when we were talking about it. So let's
Mhm.
do what we can do to get Wakanda in the parks.
I love it. I love it. Just keep pushing it, keep pushing him, and I think it can happen. D23 Expo's coming up. I saw your post. I know you're going to be there, so hopefully I get to meet you there.
Yep.
But yes, yes, we'll just keep pushing and maybe we'll get that announcement.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I would faint. I'll be done. That's it. You have to drag me out. Get a stretcher.
I June, I'm serious. Like I feel like I can't record it because if it happens, I might cry. Like I won't be able to hold it in and like keep it kosher. I'll probably start crying. It would mean
Oh
so
yeah.
much for just
Yeah.
for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah. My hope is that they reopened Rafiki's Planet Watch just because The Lion King is being released, and then they're gonna get back to work. So
Ooh, yes, let's keep that
fingers crossed.
energy.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Hmm.
Like I said, we like you, Rafiki, but we can move on now. Now we can
Yeah,
actually have real black characters.
for real, for real. And you can put Lion King anywhere.
Yeah.
Just everyone knows it. Everybody loves. I feel like if you put in the Magic Kingdom, nobody would be mad. Just yeah, we can move you over. And they have their show. Just sit down. We're gonna
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, we love you, Rafiki, but it's good now. Let the next generation take over.
Right. I love that too, that you're like you're with the like evolvement of the parks and everything. I know there's like a little tug of war going on there. Yeah, I love that you like the evolvement because I on Diz Twitter, it's such a little battle going on with the changes in the parks. But there's just some changes that I'm okay with happening. Also, if you don't mind me going off topic just a little bit, but with Splash Mountain too, and I know it's like super controversial, but I would be okay if they changed that a little bit just based off of the history that attraction comes from and is on. And so but I know there'd be like protests outside of it. I wouldn't want to change it completely, but if I'm honestly, June, if they changed it to like Zootopia and made the animatronics inside like Judy and everything, I'd be fine just because now it's not an attraction that wasn't originally based off of Song of the South, which never makes me feel 100%, good when I ride it and know what it was based off of. So it's just a little side rant.
I've never like sought out to actually watch Song of the South just because of hearing like the background of it and the history of it. I'm not really interested. And it's crazy how like people want to stand this movie and you can barely even find it, first of all, to actually even see it. But people want to like they really, really want to like back this movie and they don't care how it might make other people feel. And that is really disheartening. It's like people want to push history and it's the classic, but to who? Like, come on.
Right, right. And it's a little, I was talking about this recently, but it's a little Splash Mountain is a little disjointed, the storyline, because they had to change so much
Yeah.
to not make it like so reminiscent of Song of the South. So if you're gonna do that and the attraction's a little disjointed, it's a beautiful attraction and one of my favorites. But that history is always going to be there, and it's always going to make people that look like me feel a certain way because I'll always know that. And I don't think any amount of time is going to erase the history of what the attraction was built off of. So
Yeah.
I just that talking about changes in the park, that's definitely something that I would be okay with changing and evolving.
And I feel like I need to like dedicate just an episode to like Song of the South and like dissecting it. I've
Ooh, that would be so good.
like what I've seen has not I haven't heard any voices of color weigh in on it. Like
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
pro, I have not. Anti, yes, but I don't think I've seen anyone that's like, oh, I don't have a problem with it. I think we should at least, Song of the South should be fine. It should come out of the vault. It's something, that I don't find offensive. I haven't heard that from anyone of color. So I would really like to hear, like, actually do a conversation, dissect it, and actually really hear what people have to say about it. If there is anyone that wants to be for it, I really want to hear their point of view.
Oh yeah, I would love to listen to that episode too. I think it would mean a lot and go a long way. It's kind of like a parallel to all the Confederate statue talk. It just seems like the same arguments to support,
Yeah.
the presence of Song of the South is the same arguments to support the remainder of the Confederate statues being built. And I don't think any of us are having it or is here for it. But I think if we keep pushing the issue, things will keep changing because I feel like I see the changes happening.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree. That is a really good idea to switch it to a Zootopia show, attraction, because the transportation system there was like a water-based transportation system too. It would be perfect. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea, actually. I mean, I guess it's Frontierland. I don't know if that goes with it, but who cares? It's fine. We'll figure it out.
No, there's so much. Yeah. And they have those, like, Zootopia has those beautiful, like, burrows, that they go to. And they're just, it's so pretty. And I feel like they can make it look so nice inside all the different areas that they go to. And Zootopia is kind of a movie based off of, like, discrimination and biases and all that stuff. And I feel like that would be a nice turning of the tables to what it was and, like, to the past and to the future. I think that would be perfect, but
That's a good idea. All right, we got 2 hashtags we got to work on now.
Okay, yes. We got Wakanda. We got Splash. Splash is going to be the hard one, but
yes. Oh yeah. But no, I'm open to change because if I'm gonna be eating ramen noodles to be able to go to the parks, I want to be entertained. I'm not necessarily gonna want to do the same things over and over again. So I'm open to, new innovation and, having new experiences and seeing what they have in store because the technology is just getting better and better. And they're pumping out more movies. Like, why wouldn't you want to enjoy the movies of now your children's generation in the parks?
Exactly. And you being a mother and just being able to understand that there's, like, so many like conversations that I see where people are just talking about keeping things that are just what young kids are gonna tie themselves to all of these old Epcot attractions that I know it meant something to you when you were younger, but they're not going to relate to that. That's only, everyone says it, but Walt would say that he doesn't want his parks to be a museum. And so I think we just got to let that go and just embrace what's coming. Of course, we don't want, like, we want to keep a lot of the classic stuff. So, like, Disneyland, no, I don't think you're saying either, right? That you want, like, Adventureland to go away and everything be IPs, but I think I kind of like how they're doing it. And I think maybe just people of color more open to change because a lot of the stuff that we want and need require some change. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. Oh my God. I think D23 is going to be major this year.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I don't even know how to dissect it. It's going to be my first year. I'm going with my children, so I'm not camping out. I can't sleep out for, like, these panels, so I'm probably going to miss most of it, but I just want to be in the excitement,
Yeah, of it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be camping out. So you walk by at like 4 a.m, and I'll be like, "Hey, girl," but yeah,
I've done one camp out with the kids. I mean, they were okay because they were, warm and fed and in a stroller, so they weren't really inconvenienced. But I'm hearing about people staying overnight online. I can't do that. I spent too much money on these hotels.
Oh yeah, and you have little ones too, so it's just a whole different ball game. I'm just trying to do it now while I can. I know when the time comes and me and my husband have our kids, I don't think I'll be doing that either. So I get it 100%.
Yeah. And if it was myself and my daughter, she'd be down for it. I call her my ride or die. She's my right hand girl. But my
She's
son,
adorable.
yeah, my son, he's high maintenance. He's like, nope.
He's like, I'm accustomed to a certain type of lifestyle. I cannot sleep on this concrete.
Yes, he's like, no, where's my fluffy pillow and
Right.
my, 1,000 sheet count.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so maybe one trip I'll just do with her and I, and we can like actually go full throttle. That'll be really fun.
Yeah, it really would. I'm really hoping it's a good year this year, and I hope I get into that panel. It seems like it's just like really trying to get into a concert or something, or like trying to get some exclusive J's or something. 'Cause so I'm like a little nervous that I'm gonna even be able to get into the hall for it, but we'll see. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they have it like streaming on screens outside or something. I don't.
Yeah, you know what? They probably will. That's a good point too, so I shouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I could just imagine like the cheering and the roaring when they announce everything.
Could you imagine? Yeah.
Yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit about your radio show?
Yeah, so we talked about in the beginning like where kind of my love for everything came from and just like, getting people like trying to talk people through rides and motion sickness and drop rides and understanding that. And that's where I started everything. And everything just kind of oddly, this is where like I always try to tell people just to step out on faith, man, because I when I started doing all that stuff, I was living in DC and I didn't know what, I wanted to like connect because all I listened to was like theme park podcasts and stuff, and I wanted to start doing my thing. And I started like building my website on like the ride. That's why it's called Ride Soother, because that's what I wanted to do. And then then I started the podcast, and then things happened. My husband got a job here in Dallas. I'll make it really quick. And then we moved here, and then I got my job at iHeart Media. I used to work at SiriusXM, and it just the way things aligned after having that basis of starting, and that's why when I'm telling anybody that's listening, if anything feels cloudy and you don't know where to start, you don't know where to go, just like take step one, because then step two will just like open itself to you. So that's what happened with the show. I have my website. I'm starting the podcast, and then I'm because I work in radio, as a producer and board op. There was a show that was on weekdays, and it was a popular show, and it ended like suddenly. And the station that I worked for needed to fill that time, and there was replays of that show that would air on the weekends. And if you think of a weekday show and how big of a block of time you need to fill for that, that's like really hard. And so I don't know where I got the confidence from, but I just went to the program director and I just pitched it and said, hey, I have a website called ridesoother.com. I have a podcast that I'm starting, and I talk about this, and this is what I can do, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, well, we'll have a meeting and we'll talk about it. And then they brought the PD in and, sat down, and I pitched it, and they said that, what I was doing was a little bit too niche for a locally broadcasted Dallas, in the Dallas Fort Worth area radio show talking about specific rides. And they were like, is there any way you can broaden it a little bit or anything? And I was like, oh, of course. Yes. We talk about travel planning and all this other stuff and local things to do and how people can get there and all that stuff. And so that was the compromise and deal we made. And then they, took it and thought about it, and then they came back and cleared it and said, okay, you have a spot on Sundays. And I never, ever, ever would have thought that would happen. And it never would have if I didn't just like believe in myself and pitch it. And it never would have happened if I didn't start something that I didn't know where it was going to go. So I just, if there's anyone like just listening, show's been on for 2 years now. And the show aired for about 6 weeks broadcasting, and I didn't tell anyone because I was afraid of appearing like self-grandiose, I guess, to my peers or braggy, or I don't know what I was feeling, but I was like legitimately afraid to even tell anybody that I have a show on the radio until of course you have those core people around you that told you, no, like go like step out and let people know you're trying to help people, you want people to experience what you do, just do it. And so I actually posted when we were like 6 episodes in already that the show was airing. But that's what my radio show's about. I still do like ride through their stuff where I try to help people, and I want to get the website going when I have more time to really dive into these things a little more. But I make sure I talk about motion sickness, drop rides, roller coasters. If it's something you want to do and you want to be able to do it, I know enough about how roller coasters and rides are built since I worked at one and the engineering behind it to explain why things that might scare you shouldn't scare you, like your seat, your armrest going up and all that stuff. And then I also do the stuff I love to do. We said earlier, that I like games and all that. So I'll do a top 5, and that's just tips on traveling and how I get there with a shortened budget, and how I make the most of my time, and just all stuff Disney. And I talk, all stuff like theme parks and all that stuff. So that's the show. It's just a big show about theme parks, and any big news that's happening, I keep an eye on that to make sure. So if you want to plan trips around there, you can. I said I was going to make it short. That wasn't short at all,
No,
but that's the show.
That was perfect though. Like that's someone needed to hear that. Like just try. Just keep swimming. Just do it.
Keep swimming. Just start with what you have. And Moana, like my favorite line of like any Disney song, because I think it resonated with me at the right time, was Moana in Where You Are, and the grandmother saying like, and if that voice starts to whisper to follow the farthest star, Moana, that voice inside is who you are. Just do it. And the doors will open when you take the step. It's not going to happen anytime before that. Sorry. Okay.
No, don't be sorry.
It's like getting it out the way.
That's beautiful. Yeah. It's so true. Like, I mean, look how far you've come just by taking that one step. The worst thing that could happen is they say no. You keep it moving. You still do what you got to do,
Right. Yeah. And so, the worst thing that can happen is say no. And it doesn't feel bad because you already expect no. But then when you get the yes, then you kind of ask yourself, why didn't I just go for it? I don't feel like I'm anywhere where when I look at my goals, I'm not at any top of the mountain yet. I still feel like I'm near the bottom. But man, I wouldn't be my couple steps up, man. You just start with what you have. And even if that's a pen and paper, just start.
Yes, definitely. That's the motivation I needed, because I've been ignoring my website because it just seems so overwhelming. And I'm like, you know what? How do you eat an elephant in little bites? Yeah. You just take it one step at a time, and it'll come to you. If you're willing to be open and to be open to learning, it'll come to you.
Yes, achievable goals. And I feel you on the website too. I look at every time I post, I'm like, I need to take a Saturday and just do this, update it. But yeah, it's a lot. So I get it.
Yeah. But kudos to you for stepping out on faith. Definitely amazing.
I mean, same to you. We all, I feel like we've all done it, and we're all doing it. And I feel like you're doing it too. And we're all just motivating each other, like indirectly. So it's great vibes. It makes me happy.
Yes, we're going to build an amazing network. And we're gonna have a conglomerate before you know it.
Okay, so let's get this. Are you on it? You were getting this little meetup going?
Yes, girl. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I've seen little places, at Walt Disney, and they have like little parks, and then we can set up a cookout and like just let's make it happen.
Yeah, they're gonna have to throw us out.
Before I let go, be playing. They're like, "What is that? A Disney song now?"
I know, we're going to be Beyonce.
Yes.
Line dancing and whatnot.
What's going on over there?
Like, either get with it or move over.
Right.
We're excited. We finally found each other. Y'all don't understand.
Exactly. Love it.
What are some of your favorite episodes that you've done on your show?
So my favorite, I'll say the one I get the most feedback about is my Black Panther episode, probably because I was so excited about it. And then the attraction bracket that I do every March Madness is a lot of fun. And I'd say the one that meant the most to me was episode 70 when Mark Daniel came on. He's just like my my when people ask me like, "Oh, what do you want to do with this?" or blah blah blah, I'll say, "Do you know Mark Daniel? He's the inside Disney Parks guy." And so just for him to come on, it meant so much. And even when I sent my thank you email after, I don't even think I was able to formulate the words to explain how much that meant to me to have someone that you look at that's kind of there to come on with you. It meant so much. So that's the one that I think, hits me in the feels, is episode 70. But if you want to hear any fun ones, I'd say maybe my Black Panther episode. I think that's episode 24. And then any of the attraction brackets are fun because I like big productions and I put a lot of production. It's very production heavy. So
Yes, I love it. I love the countdowns, the announcers. I think I
yeah,
was listening to one recently where you're talking about Galaxy's Edge, and then there was like the Chewbacca noises, and then it was like your guest that was doing it. Oh my God, I love
yeah,
that.
yeah, he was.
And oh, I love
Yeah.
Mark as well. Mark, yeah, he's goals,
Yes,
definitely.
he's amazing.
Shout out to
So
him.
he's like the OG original, like Disney POC out there, like holding it down for all of us. So
Oh,
love it. Yeah.
yes, yes, snaps from Mark for sure.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, can you name, in the spirit of your show, can you name your top 5 things to do at Disney? Should I do the
Ooh.
countdown? Should I do it?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, let me clear my throat. Number 5.
Oh, I love it. I'd say number 5, I'm gonna go Disney World and say go to California Grill and eat up there at sunset. The food is incredible. And if there's any special occasion you want to celebrate, that's the perfect place to do it. And you can see the fireworks if you go at the right time. And if you go a little early before your reservation and ask for a window seat, they'll give you one.
Yes, I've been there and I agree. It's amazing. And the food is pretty good.
Yeah, they had this when I was there, and I think it might be seasonal, but they had a lavender bread, and I'm not like a crazy foodie, and so I've never had all this exotic type of stuff, but I've never had bread that tastes like flowers before, and it was incredible. So that's when I was like, oh, let me have this rose ice cream now I get, because that lavender bread just opened a whole new world for me.
It makes you
So
feel fancy.
yeah, you feel fancy. You're like, yeah, it's infused with lavender. It's really good. So
Oh, I don't know if I've had that. Okay, next, well, if I ever go again, I definitely have to try it.
yeah.
If they have it,
Hmm.
hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay,
Right.
number 4.
I'd say a must do at any Disney park is to experience a dark ride. So there's so many that's their absolute favorite, but I'm gonna go ahead and say, you have to do your Peter Pan's Flight or Haunted Mansion or Pirates of the Caribbean. It's quintessential classic Disney, and no one else does it the way Disney does.
Yeah, I mean, I think Peter Pan's Flight has such a long wait for a reason. I
Hmm.
think it's really cool how they make it look like you're actually flying. And, Pirates of the Caribbean, I mean, hands down, like the sights, the smells, the whole thing is, I can't wait to see it in Disneyland. Like, I can't wait to
Oh,
experience that one.
you haven't done it?
I haven't done the
Oh my
Disneyland
God.
one, but
I can't
yeah.
wait. Can you just send me can you just slide in my DMs and just drop me like an emoji, like a thumbs up after you do it? I can't wait to hear. It's so different. So I really
Yeah.
want to know what you thought after you did
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We may have to do it like a couple times. I
it.
cannot wait.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like a full 7 minutes longer than the one at Magic Kingdom.
I heard, and I'm
Yes.
like, what? Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Okay. Number 3.
My number 3, I'd say, is to make sure you get a Dole Whip. I've never had one because I'm allergic to pineapples, but if you want to experience the full Disney things and understand why people love the park so much, you have to go ahead and get a Dole Whip. And I'd say, I know they have all the new flavors, but get yourself the original pineapple Dole Whip. Apparently, it's creamy and it tastes like custard and it's unrivaled. Have you had one?
I have. I'm not a huge like ice cream
Mm.
person, but I'll eat the Dole Whip with the pineapple upside down cake. That is like my
Okay.
treat of choice.
All right. Do
So
you like put it on top of it, or do you just
yeah,
like
so
eat it with?
they serve it like that. So they serve
Oh, okay.
the pineapple upside down cake, and then they put the Dole Whip on top, and it's like a nice cool kind of mixture with the cake. So I definitely say that's the one to do. I know a lot of people like the Dole Whip float with like rum and whatnot, but for me, it's the cake.
Okay.
Gotta.
Man, I
So
wish I could try it. I can only
I
just think
know.
about it.
Number two.
My number two is get there at rope drop. I think you just have to try to do it one time. And I know everyone loves to sleep in on vacations, but I always say going to a Disney park is not going to the beach. It's different. And if you get there at rope drop, you can experience so much more. And then that midday break, even if that midday break is going back to your room and sleeping or just sitting down at a restaurant eating, you'll get like a second boost of energy and you can finish out the day. And it's so different than getting there at like 11, 12, and the park's already so crowded and you're in long lines. And by the time the evening comes, you're just ready to leave. So it changes the game in such a big way. You got to zig when everyone else is zagging.
Definitely. I feel like it's a whole nother experience when you get there early and it's not as crowded, it's not as hot, it's more relaxing. It's a whole nice little vibe.
It
It,
is, yeah. And you can kind of like walk a little slower and it's just like, well, after you like do all the stuff before the lines get big, but then once you
right.
get the big hitters out the way, yeah, you could just like walk and really just take things in and maybe do some stuff you wouldn't do when the park's super crowded and you're waiting in a line for an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, definitely. So I definitely second the rope drop. And number one.
All right, my number one is the firework. You have to see the fireworks show. No one does it like Disney, especially around the holidays. I cry every single time I see them. And if you have a good spot and you can see them at Magic Kingdom or at Disneyland and watch how they do these projections on the castle, it's hard to explain if you haven't seen it, but they turn the castle into like a brick castle or a candy cane castle or Elsa's castle, just Rapunzel's castle. Oh, your Rapunzel Disney Bound was unbelievably out of this world. Side note, by the way, just amazing. But yeah, they turned the castle into just all these crazy things, and it's incredible. And then watching the fireworks pop off at the perfect moment in the music when something happens, it's just production on the tenth top floor penthouse production. So it's incredible and so wonderful. Your kids will love it. You'll love it. It's worth your time and it's worth the wait that people wait to watch it.
Yeah, the fireworks are top notch every night and multiple parks. I mean, the level of organization just brings me in awe.
It,
The organizer in me is pleased with how they can pull this off every night at multiple locations, and you don't even notice that one is going on in one spot and the other is going on in the other spot. I love everything about it.
it
Everything about it.
exactly just all the stuff. And then they make the fireworks into certain shapes that you didn't know they could make into shapes. It's just it's beautiful. I love it. So must
Yeah,
must do.
definitely. I'm a little sad I won't see Illuminations before it's officially retired, but
Me
you know,
too, and I feel like I've never seen it in its full glory too, so I'm so disappointed that I'm gonna miss it.
yeah. But I mean, I'm excited to see what's to come. I heard there's going to be like jet skis and such involved. I don't know if it's
Oh,
true, but I'm here for it. Let's see. See what they got up their sleeve.
they never disappoint. Wishes went away, and then happily ever after, they somehow topped it. So yeah, I'm not worried about it for sure.
This was an amazing top five.
Oh, I hope I didn't
Awesome.
forget anything like really important, but
No, well, this is your top five, so
I guess that's true. It's all
can't be no
subjective.
wrong.
Yeah.
So before I let you go, can you talk about one of your favorite Disney moments or memories?
Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say I don't know why. I think I'm gonna take it back and say when my mom and me and my grandma went to Disneyland and watching a parade, which I don't really watch the parades anymore now, but I remember like sitting there and like watching everyone go through and seeing like I don't know if it was Jasmine, I think, but she like came right to me and like, like touched me like my hand and never shook my hand. And I remember her going away, and it's just that moment. And then going and, like I said, looking in photo books and looking at how young I was. And that's when I realized what an impression these like Disney parks can make on kids just at the youngest age, that went into like Inside Out, that went into my permanent memory bank. And I thought I was like 5, and I think I was like 3 or 2. So I want to say maybe that's my first Disney memory. So that's why it's the one that's the most poignant.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, it's crazy how they become core memories because they're such positive experiences and they're with your family in like an amazing place. Like, how could it get any better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
it's just,
cool.
yeah, so many good memories, so many to choose from, but yeah.
Yeah. So, what
Mhm.
is one thing about yourself that you would like for everyone to know?
I'd probably say that everything that I do with my show and the production and everything, I do it. It's never a feeling of like comfort. It's always a little scared. But there's so many things about fear, that's actually a good thing. Will Smith, he always says that like the greatest things in life are on the other side of fear. So anything that people like to, when people look at my page and they see like pictures that I took or they listen to the show, I think they think that like there's so much like unwavering confidence there. And it's no, you get a little nervous about doing it, but you do it anyway. And so I just want people to know that just keep doing it, do it anyway, do it scared, because there's so many great things that'll come out on the other end.
Yeah, that's so true and so amazing. Like, fear is a heck of a I mean, it could be a motivator or it can like stop you in your tracks. And I feel like once you overcome the first fear, the first obstacle, it gets easier and easier. So just like you said, take one step and
Hmm.
you never know what can follow after that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but that's I think that's only, and then I guess another like more lighthearted one is that I have like dimples in my forehead that never like move down. So when I like raise my eyebrows, I have like two little holes in my forehead, which is like really, that's my, when they say tell two truths and a lie, that's my
Oh.
that's one of them. I have dimples in my forehead and I always win. So
Oh, that's good to know. So now when I look at your pictures, I'm gonna be like looking out for those dimples.
yeah, if you see my eyebrows raised, they are there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, this has
Well,
been a great conversation.
it's been an honor. Thank you so much for having me on. This was a blast.
I'm so excited to finally be able to talk to you. I love listening to your radio show, and you are just as amazing
Oh, thank you.
in living color or living audio. So if people want to listen to your show or see your follow your website, where can they find you?
So you can find me. I'm most active on my Instagram page, and that's Diamond Hearts Theme Parks. Also, there's Diamond Grade 29. People seem to follow that one too. And then you can find me on my show's called Diamond Hearts Theme Parks, and it's on iTunes, Stitcher, all the podcast platforms. And if you're in the Dallas, Fort Worth area, I'm on every Sunday at 10 a.m. on Talk Radio, KFXR 1190.
Awesome. And I will link all of that information, including your website, right, Soother?
Right to the, oh yeah, my website, righttotheir.com. And I have like little infographics and stuff with like the biggest coasters and stuff like that, to get over your fear and all that stuff. So that's also there for you. And all the episodes are on the website as well.
Awesome. So everyone check that out. I'll definitely put that in the show notes. And thank you so much once again. This was so amazing.
This great, great chat. Yeah, great way to start the day too. So perfect.
Awesome. You've just heard my conversation with Diamond. This is our second episode in a row where we talk about fear. So I know that someone out there needs to hear this message. Whatever it is that you're afraid of, push past beyond that and go follow your dreams, folks. You have one life to live, and it's not going to slow down anytime soon. Be sure to check out Diamond's show, Diamond Heart's Theme Parks, on iHeartRadio Talk 1190 or via her podcast on your preferred podcasting platform. Also, check out her website, ridesoother.com, and go out there and face your fears, whether they are theme park related or not. The POC-owned small business for this episode is Weird Little Me. It is an online fashion brand that is owned by JL Lloyd, and it sells unique and interesting handbags, accessories, and Disney tees. Check out her stuff at www.weirdlittleme.com. And don't forget, our first official meetup is a month away. The D23 meetup will be on Friday, August 23rd at 6 p.m. at the House of Blues in Anaheim. It is very close to the Anaheim Convention Center, so you can hang out for a bit, grab a bite, grab a drink, then head over and camp out if that's what you're planning to do. So if you want to go, head over to my website, afrosandpixiedust.com, and click on the events tab for more info, and you can RSVP if you'd like, so I can know that you're coming. And as always, if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast with all of your friends. And also be sure to join the Afros and Pixie Dust Facebook group so we can chat more about Blade and The Lion King, I guess. So until next time, never stop deep conditioning or pursuing your happiness.